dig in.
Can you pass the pita?
Pita.
Thanks. Anyone on this side want some of this platter?
I want to thank you guys for coming tonight. This is such an important issue. I mean, there's so many issues to discuss. In the 2016 race for the presidency, there's perhaps no issue that's been more polarizing, more divisive than Donald Trump's rhetoric when it comes to Muslims.
Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States.
The comments he made with Muslims, I think Mr. Trump, well, I don't agree with everything that he says. I think that he hit into something that's accurate, that we have this worldwide phenomenon going on that can't quite be figured out, where there's this growing population of radicals, but we need to find out a vetting process and a way to really make sure that everyone coming here is a good person.
I think a Trump presidency will make my life far more difficult. Right after Trump's speech, I was at a car wash, and a man said under his breath he didn't trust me, harassed me, walked around the whole station behind me, and then when he found me by myself, pulled out a switchblade on me. He was arrested. He was put in jail for 4 months. I have rights just like everyone else has rights, and I feel insulted when someone says, go back to your country. This is my country. I don't have another country to go back to. And when Trump says, make America great again, I think of going back to where white supremacy existed. It scares me. Trump scares me.
Well, it's not that Trump scares you, it's the situation.
The people
so
that
you can't
support
blame
Trump
for that. He insulted my race in the same way that people took it as an insult, but it's just, he's a New Yorker. He says certain things.
Muslim Americans say that they're facing a bigger backlash, more Islamophobia than after they experienced 9/11. Is there a connection between Donald Trump's candidacy and the Islamophobia and the feelings that you're experiencing? Why do you say that? Let's just hear this out. Why do you say that?
Because of the things that he said. He said Islam hates America. He said we should ban all Muslims.
Now the problem has come before with 8 years of Obama, who has not done anything, who is making us apologize.
Nobody calls people to attack Muslims.
Look, this is a touchy subject. Everyone's tense when they talk about it, but I'd rather have political realness than political correctness. I'd rather have people be able to say, you know what, I don't like you because I don't like the scarf you wear on your head. And if you wear the scarf on your head, get ready for people to harass you. If you were my friend, I would be real with you and say, sister, why are you going out like that? Because you realize you're going to get harassed. Now you may say, but you know what, it's my faith, it's my belief, and what I honor, and I would respect that. But at least I would be real with you. But you know, no, I would be real with you. But see, you want me to care about your emotions. Why should I care about your emotions?
Because I'm going to care about your emotions.
It's not about your emotions, it's about the reality of what you live in a country that acts too emotional and
it's
not
something
real.
about politeness,
You know,
there's something called
that's
respect.
not, and there's something about realness. You want to be politically correct, that's you. But what you hear is the real Donald Trump team.
I think that Donald Trump's been willing to address all these issues that politicians, both on the left and right, haven't been willing to address due to political correctness.
One of the things that truly and honestly worries me about Donald Trump is the divisiveness of his speech, in that a lot of it has become normalized in us and them.
You knew Syed Farouk, one of the shooters in the San Bernardino attack. What went through your mind when you heard it was him?
We weren't very close or anything. We had like a prayer room. We would all pray together. It was a shock to me that, you know, someone that I had interacted with could do something so horrible to people.
How do you detect and stop someone from doing this?
It's the same way you detect any person who goes and shoots in any place. How do you stop the guy who went to the family parenting
Planned Parenthood
place?
He said that he was doing it for Christianity. He said he was doing it in the name of God. That's literally what he said. Okay? He said he was doing it in the name of God. Now, as a Muslim, I look at that and I say, that has nothing to do with Christianity. I know that's not what Christianity teaches. Literally, the rest of us are saying that has.
Were you outraged over that when that happened? Were you ever outraged?
Absolutely.
What did you do?
Absolutely.
What did you do?
My issue is that we are singling out violent extremist Muslim or Islam. Why not the rest of them? Why are we talking about violent extremism in this country as a whole?
All of us are Americans. When these attacks happen in America, they attack all of us. I was going to class when 9/11 happened. Those are my people that got attacked on that day. They're not your people against us. Like, I feel that you guys don't understand because you've asked us this question several times. Do you feel sad when these attacks happen? Why wouldn't we feel sad? These are our people.
I never asked if you feel sad.
No, you asked him specifically, did you feel anything when San Bernardino happened? That's insulting to us because we are American.
We're creating such a crybaby community. Everybody's, whoa this, whoa that, oh he said this, oh he said that.
I guarantee you Muslims are not acting like crybabies because we're getting attacked.
If he said banning ISIS, we will be the first ones to cheer for that. If he says banning terrorists, we are in
Well, the first
support
thing
of
that Mr. Trump said was the wall, okay? And the reason why this wall is important is because many things and many people, the wall that needs to be
You
built.
must be kidding me.
Oh, the wall will be built.
You look very intelligent. I'm
sorry,
really surprised that you
Well,
can
you
be
shouldn't
saying
be
these
because I'm
things.
supporting Mr. Trump.
Why were you demean her like that? She's very intelligent.
But say the
I mean,
wall,
for
have
you to
looked at
demean her like
you
that?
looked at how much the wall was going to cost? Is it practical to build the wall on that border? It's impossible. I'm so sad that you guys are repeating the things that you hear without thinking about them.
Is good and evil important to you? Let me ask you that.
Hmm?
Is good and evil?
That's an insult. As much as you felt we insulted you, that you said something about the wall, the fact that you're asking us, do we care about good and evil?
I said,
Are you
I didn't say do you care. I said, do you understand there's a discernment of good and evil in this country?
Okay, but the fact
You're
that
not
you're
answering my
asking
question.
that,
You're
the
not
fact that you're asking
you-
that is so insulting
No,
on
it's
so
not,
many
because-
levels. You're Latina, right? So, and Mr. Trump said that Mexico only sends us their rapists, their thugs, their thieves. No one good comes from Mexico. He's talking about you and your ancestors.
Listen, when he said it, I didn't feel offended because there's some truth to all that. There's molestation within our culture. There is drugs. There's a lot of things that it's embarrassing to even talk about. We could pretend here we're buddies, and in reality, do you really respect my culture? You know what I'm saying? It's just, we gotta get real with ourselves.
So what's the American culture?
Yeah, what's the American culture?
The American culture is basketball, volleyball, sports,
So we do that.
football, English.
We do that.
American culture is diversification. It's diversifying us,
Exactly.
right?
It has to do with sharing the same set of values, which I feel at this table, we largely do share the same set of values. But I feel like
Where are we different?
Where we different,
we seem to be different in the candidate we want to elect.
Yeah, we are clear on that.
Well, thank you all for coming, and this was incredible. Cheers, guys. Cheers.